Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Chris with a C. Hope you are doing well. Thank you very much for joining me today. Right guys, on the bench we have my epic Traxxas XRT. Big shout out to Wheelspin Models and big shout out to Vitavon'd for making this video happen. Guys, they will put the links in the description where you can pick the parts up where I'm going to be fitting to the truck today. I want to say a huge thank you to Arthur and the gang as well. Guys, as you know, in the last video of this truck, I ran it, I took it out, and I had a little issue with the drive shaft. It's all sorted now. But in between all that, I got talking to Arthur and the gang, and we were just going on about the videos, this, that, the other. And I said to them about adding just the final touches to the truck, and Arthur kindly offered to send the parts over. And I want to say, like, honestly, I really love the quality of the parts. As you know, I've done loads of builds with them. And I'm just glad that this could be like the kind of final icing on the cake then, should we say. It's going to really set the truck off. It will kind of put it in the same league, if not better than like an Ultimate. Literally every nut, bolt, screw that I can think of from an Ultimate, it will be added onto this truck. They've sent the parts over, and actually there is a bit more. So if you look at it from that point of view, thinking about it, there is a bit more to this truck than what you were getting on the Ultimate, e.g. the shocks and so on and so forth. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to dive down on the table. I will show you the parts they sent over and why we've gone with these parts and why I think it's a benefit for you to have them on your vehicle. Now, this isn't going to be for everyone. I understand upgrading a vehicle is very subjective, but I will say, in my personal experience, once I've got my truck sorted, they do tend to be pretty good. All right, so you know, that's the best way I can put it. And the difference is, by doing the build this way, yes, it'll cost a little bit more than buying, let's say, an Ultimate truck, but you are getting a different quality of parts. So as you know, I've got the Ultimate X-Max. Love that truck. Honestly, I've kicked the living daylights out of it and had so much fun with it. But the Traxxas parts fitted are 6061. Now, I'm not there. None of them have failed on me yet. I will put that out there, okay? I'm not saying that the parts on the Ultimate are rubbish, because they're not. They're not. They're better than stock. But the difference is with adding aftermarket parts is you are getting a better quality of product, e.g. 7075 T6 aluminium. So yeah, a big benefit in that sense. So you could probably bash harder, it'll last longer, that sort of thing. Less prone to wear, because I do like to order all my parts in a silver aluminium colour, so therefore there is no anodizing to come off. Right, I've done enough waffle here. Let's dive down on the table and we'll have a look. Come on then. Right, okay, so my XRT, Traxxas XRT, big shout out to the guys at Western Valleys for hooking me up with this. As you know, I've gone to town on the truck so far and I've added a bunch of parts. Oh, by the way, hello Ralphie. I wanted to add a bunch of parts to the vehicle and kind of make it my own. Now, as you know, I've spent a lot of time upgrading, making this truck epic. We did take it out last time. I did have some problems with the gearing, guys, and I've managed to sort that all out. So big shout out to my friend Craig's Crash and Bash for taking the time out to sit down and work it out with me. Now, on the truck, guys, this is far from stock, so let's just move the body. I will say what I've done here is I've added some epic parts on already. I'm just trying to put the body by there, guys, for 2 seconds. In fact, let's put it on the floor. Right, okay, quickly recap. 7075 small gearbox cover. We've gone with hardened 4620 gearing, hardened from Traxxas. We've also gone with the Ultimate motor mount, GPM M-bell for obviously heat dissipation. We have gone with the Vitavon'd bell crank servo saver arrangement, obviously for the steering, as you can see, just poking through here, really kind of helped the truck be more positive. I've got a GPM servo cage, a Yepin AK70 servo in there. Now, as for the further upgrades, as you can see, I have got the Vitavon'd shock caps, emulsion style shock caps, the pistons and retainers slash spacers, and then the retainers on the bottom. I've also added some of the X-Max parts in there as well. So as you can see, just kind of hinge pin holders. I've also got a AliExpress gearbox cover on there now. As you can see, there is a bunch of parts there. I will be replacing that in this video, and there's good reason I'll explain in a moment. Trying to think what else. Mod 1.65 spiral cut hardened gears in the front and the rear of the truck. The front and the rear. There you go, the front and the rear. Yeah, just had a lot of fun with this truck so far, and I want to kind of make it even more epic than what it already is. Now, plan is possible change with the ESC. I'm looking at probably going with a Max 6 like I did with the X-Max in here. Also, now, Vitavon'd got talking, as you know. Big shout out to the guys at Vitavon'd. I want to say a huge thank you for obviously supporting the channel. Guys, what they've actually sent over here is the front and rear gearbox cases, all machined, all epic looking, really nicely made. So I want to replace the front and the rear. Now, the real reason why I'm doing this, there is a slight amount of movement in this gearbox. The one I got from AliExpress, just a little bit of play. The tolerances are not quite as nice as I'd like. And on the rear, is obviously I'm still running the composite gearbox cover. So yeah, get that done there. I'm also going to be replacing this caster hub and front knuckle. So they have sent over the parts here. As you can see, all in 7075 T6 aluminium, and I'm going to be replacing the rear hubs as well as some custom wheel nuts from Vitavon'd. So what I'm going to do now is I'll put the parts on table, I'll quickly open them up, show you, and then we'll get them fitted to the vehicle in this video. Right, okay, so these are the parts, obviously, the Vitavon'd has sent over for me, guys, are going to be fitting to the truck. Now, just kind of put this in perspective, we have got the wheel nuts here. So these are, and the reason why I've asked for these, guys, is because of the better serration on the wheel nut on the back. As you know, I did have an issue where my wheel nuts were starting to come off. Now, what I've found with these is because of the amount of serration, they cut into the wheel really, really nice. All in 7075. As you can see, they give you the size fitting on the side of it there, 1.25. Really nice. Going to set the, and it's going to give it a little bit more grab as well on the wheel. So that's nice. We have got the rear hubs, so let's just get one of the rear hubs out again. So they actually come with the bearings again in T6 7075. I'll actually give you which side to add them to the vehicle as well. Come with the bearings. There is a little spacer inside as well, as you can see. So let's just get this one bearing out. There is a little spacer inside for your stub axle to sit on. So obviously you've got to keep that. They are greased inside the hub as well. But the difference is this bearing is just ever so slightly bigger as well on the rear. So it will help with it not locking up. It's going to be a lot stronger than the stock part, and obviously will help with the durability of the truck. Now, on the front, we have the caster hubs. And also steering knuckle arrangement. So really nicely made, these awesome quality parts, as you can see. Again, what I'm probably going to need to do is add some Loctite, because there is a screw inside there and a hinge pin. And I'm obviously going to need to make sure they're locked down and locked in properly. And then obviously this would go out your turnbuckle there. But again, really nicely made. Machine quality is, let's see if we can kind of zoom in a little bit better. There you go. As you can see, machine quality is absolutely outstanding. Again, 7075 parts. Really nicely made. And then obviously you got your gearbox covers, so just kind of show you this hub as well again, now the camera zoomed in properly. Beautiful. And then the gearbox covers. Now, as I mentioned, I did find some tolerance issues with the stock, not the stock parts, the parts I got from AliExpress. You can see all the machine in there. This has actually been machined and milled out of a solid part rather than just pressed. So again, that is going to hold my crown and input gears in really, really nicely, keeping the truck working a-okay. And the reason why we replaced this part here, just to kind of tell you guys, all right, the reason why this part is being replaced is what happens is as the gears get warm, with a composite part, they allows a little bit of flex. So obviously, depending on how you're bashing and where you're bashing, this will just stop that movement happening, guys, and keep the temperatures down for you. But really, really nice. What I'm going to do now is, obviously, now I've showed you on the table of the parts, is I'm going to get the XRT on you. I think I'll put you on a time lapse while I'm fitting them, because they shouldn't really take too long to fit all these. And then we'll come back and I'll go through the parts for you. Right, okay guys, something to notice and something I didn't pick up when we were initially looking at it. The Traxxas part, okay, in the car, what happens is, obviously that's the composite part there. They've got a bearing on the outside and a bearing on the inside, which basically your stub axle goes through like so, and then what happens is, obviously those two bearings are just supporting the stub axle. Now, as you know, Traxxas X-Max and also XRT wheels are quite heavy. I mean, the trucks are quite heavy. So what Vitavon'd have come up with is a 3 bearing support system. So what happens inside here, you've got a bearing on the outside, whoop, where be two, bearing on the outside, bearing on the inside, and inside there is another bearing which is identical size to the inner one. All right, so that or your stub axle is completely supported right the way through the vehicle. E.g., when that goes in there, all of this mash here is actually supported by the bearing system in here. So they have got a little spacer. I'm now going to fit these to the vehicle. As you can see, it's going to look epic on there, mind. It really will. Especially with all the parts on. I think the truck is going to look amazing. I will get this out in the sun and show you all the parts after as well. But huge thank you to Vitavon'd for sending these over. You've made my day, honestly. Right. I'm going to continue on with the time lapse. I thought I'd obviously show you. But yeah, as you can imagine, this is definitely going to be tougher than obviously the Traxxas offering. Just these flex, you know, it gives you more places for things to fail, especially with the composite stuff. So yeah, that's going, and then obviously we're fitting the 7075 part. Check out these parts, guys. They look absolutely epic. So we've got the caster hubs and front knuckles all on there, looking beautiful. Much stronger than the stock parts. These are the stock parts that came off, as you can see. So yeah, I mean, the plastic ones, they held up so far. What I will say though is these are way better, and the design, like I say, you've got 3 bearings in there supporting this this stub axle. So obviously it's going to take a lot more abuse. Remember to add Loctite on these screws here and here where the metal retainers are, and obviously this screw here. And then on the rear, again, replacing the stock piece, which again was okay, but I will say just much better. The truck is starting to look absolutely epic. Right, you're going to move on to the gearboxes now, and we'll go from there. Well, there she is, guys, all fitted up with the parts. Absolutely epic. I will say this gearbox is way more stout. The extra material on there, as I was tightening the screws in, they give you 3mm screws, and it just kind of really kind of pulls the gearbox together nicely. And the funny thing is, I mean, for anyone who's doubting what I'm saying here, this is the stock composite part, as you can see. Now, I can flex that with my fingers. That's not good. I mean, that can't be good. You've got an 8-disc rig with all that power, and that's able to flex. Now some people like flex, I know, but when you got between moving parts like gearboxes, that's not a good idea. I'm sorry, two gears held together, they're meant to be meshing. They really should be supported a little bit better than that. Now, okay, the AliExpress parts, again though, I've actually can flex them between my fingers, and that's an aluminium part. So, I mean, there is a big difference between 6061, 7075 and composite. I mean, now, those gears should be rock solid, not go anywhere at all. Whereas, obviously, worst case scenario is your composite gearbox. Then you've got your cheaper aluminium ones. And then you've got the real deal. Everything went on a-okay. I have lost a circlip on this wheel over here, so I am going to need to order another one for the hex. Cheapest chips part, but me being me with my OCD absolutely fried my little mind. I'm going to obviously get this car out in the sun now, where you can see the parts on the vehicle. I'll take some videos for you just so you can see what's what. But huge thank you to obviously Arthur and the gang at Vitavon'd, because yeah, this truck, guys, apart from a Max 6 ESC, now I think is absolutely epic. It is roasting here as well, guys, by the way. So standing in this shed at the moment. Outside we are 27 degrees C. So inside this shed I would imagine it's probably around about 35, 36. So I'm standing here trying to find the will to live, actually recording this video. It is boiling. But again, now the truck, the only thing I've got really left to do if I wanted to go further with the drivetrain is the center drive shaft. I might do that at a later date, I don't know, I haven't figured it out yet. But center drive shaft, and she is done. Like I say, Max 6 ESC, that's something I was always planning on doing. I don't really want to go big block motor with a vehicle because I don't want to add that extra weight into it. Yeah, it's a ground pounder. It does. Yeah, I've done this, so this is good on the floor. But I don't really want to have to kind of add that extra weight to something that, I mean, if I can keep this as flighty as I can, which bearing in mind I have added some metal on, you know. So below axle weight is a good thing, because obviously that'll make it more stable on the floor. If I go add in a big block motor up here, obviously that's above the axles, which then makes the car kind of tilt and roll and do silly things a little bit more. In an X-Max maybe might be a good idea. Something like the XRT, in my opinion, yeah, maybe not. Because like I say, you want to keep this nimble as you possibly can with a big 8S truck. Again, huge thank you to Vitavon'd. What I'll do now is I'll record obviously a couple of little videos for you to have a look at the parts. The next time you're going to see this on the channel, I will say, I think we'll be blasting around at Dusty 2.0 or Dusty or something like that. Yeah, just epic, guys, really epic. So happy that I fitted it. And yeah, just to let you know, I will put links in the description to where you can pick these parts up. Huge thank you once again to Vitavon'd, and till next time, guys, check the box for more videos. Stay awesome. I'll catch you later. That was something I forgot to mention, guys, earlier on, was the wheel nuts they've actually sent over are Traxxas adapters. So essentially what it is they're 70mm to 24mm outside. All right, so it does give you a lot more purchase when tightening the wheel nuts up. And we've got obviously 7075 gearboxes, emulsion style shock caps, spring retainers, adjusters I should say. Then you've got the retainer at the bottom and the rod ends. As you can see inside, we've got the caster hub and also steering knuckle. Then inside here now, we've got the bell crank, servo saver. As you can see down there, I have upgraded the servo and horn. Then 7075 gearbox cover, Traxxas Ultimate motor mount. We've also, on the rear then, got the exactly the same, guys, as you can see. Absolutely epic. But yeah, very happy with the way this truck's come out now. But I thought I needed to point this out to you. So these are actually 24mm nuts that go on to your 17mm, so you don't need any adapter. They just machined in that way. Epic, really. Just showing you inside, as you can see. Beautiful. Right, I needed to add that part in for you.